I brought a couple of our friends. We're gonna actually take them through some of the upgrade processes. We gotta know what point A is.
525 active clients, team of 25.
Then we design what you want, your destination.
In any room, confidently show up as myself and know that that is good enough for me.
The world is my oyster at that point.
Then we notice some obstacles. How do you measure being good enough? Then we do the installation, the replacement. Look at yourself now. Where's the worry? It's gone.
I feel abundant, excited.
You smell popcorn? Welcome back to Brokers of Secrets. Now, we're doing something a little different this time. I brought a couple of our friends into this episode. And, we're just going to have some casual conversations. But through these conversations and these different topics, we're going to actually take them through some of the upgrade processes. And for many of you who may already be students or clients of ours, you'll be familiar. And it'll be a good refresher. For those of you who have never been a part of our trainings, you'll see how simple the process is. And the simplicity is key because if it's complex, typically it causes people to not be able to pass the change onto other people. They can't leverage the learnings as easily and be able to help their friends and family. Really what I'm saying is a lot of times the whole world of mental performance has gated the secrets, the knowledge, the techniques, the strategies from the outside world unless you are paying. And even paying is not enough. Oftentimes people have to pay really high dollar amounts to get the insider peek at some of these things that we're going to be doing. And so I want to show you guys the secrets behind the closed doors and the why, what, how of some of the techniques. But the beauty is it's very conversational. And we'll explain the structures as we go. But as you look and examine at the structure, you'll be able to see some, not all, because this is not a, 10-hour podcast, but you'll see some of the critical pieces that allow someone to change their mental systems and to be able to architect the way, not only how they think, but how they feel, and then it affects their behavior and their outcome. So welcome back, everyone. Looking forward to do this with these wonderful people here. Now, if I may, because I know that you guys can introduce yourselves better than I could, I would love for you guys to not hold back and just brag about yourself for a minute and tell our audience who you are.
Want to kick us off? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, ladies first.
Yeah, so Audrey and Mason, we co-own the Metabolic Makeover Academy, which is a one-to-one health and fitness coaching, mainly body transformation coaching for women. We do everything from strength training programming, nutrition, hormones, and we work with currently about 525 active clients. We have a team of 25. We've been doing it for just about 4.5 years only.
Give or take.
Yeah, and we're just continuing to grow. We want to completely take over the space, and we don't see any goal being too big. So
I don't know if I could have said it better myself. Yeah. In a nutshell, that's our full kit and caboodle, if you will, in terms of where we're at here today and what we got going on professionally there as well.
But we
I'm
have
from
fun.
Chicago. She's from Tampa. We're kind of nomadic in our living endeavors. We've been in Houston for a few years and then out here in Scottsdale for a little over a year and a half.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And tell us a little bit about your background, too. I think you guys are hiding some of your talents and skills.
Yes, very much so. So before getting into fitness, went to school for computer science way back in the day, which is probably over almost 10 years now. Mm-hmm. So went to school for computer science, and that was up in Michigan. And then as I was finishing up my computer science degree, I had a internship at a company called Deloitte, which was a Big Four accounting firm. Worked there for a series of years, even after college, as we were building this business. So had a lot of depth of understanding from like the corporate world and the structure and team structure and how to communicate very well with people. So that started the path at the same time starting in fitness for myself. Yeah.
Which is really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And now the reason I'm asking these questions for the audience is to see, because people's past matter, how you've learned, what you've learned, it gives us context. So anytime if we want to take someone from point A to point B, we got to know what point A is.
Yeah.
Right? So just a little bit of that context really does help our audience see, okay, there's a background in computer science and working in a Big Four accounting firm. And Audrey, were you always in fitness, nutrition? Tell us a little bit more if you would.
Yeah, so I was actually on track to go the pre-med route. I was always fascinated with biology and anatomy. So I thought I wanted to be a surgeon, did a lot of volunteering in a hospital. And the thing that kind of turned me off, which I think now with the stronger mindset I have, I probably would have been like, I'll show you. But there was a guy, cardiac surgeon, and I told him what I wanted to do. I wanted to do what he was doing. And he's like, do you know how many women are in this field? And he was basically saying, good luck, because there's very few women that actually get to this point. And it kind of just like rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, maybe I don't want to be in this field if this is what it could be like. So after kind of getting into fitness myself, I was skipping some of my college classes to go to the gym. And that's when I realized I had a much stronger passion for fitness. And I became a personal trainer at 19 while still going to college. I transferred my degree from pre-med to like health administration. I thought I wanted to open a gym. Thank God we didn't do that. And then I went for my master's in exercise science, graduated at 20, I think I just turned 22 with my master's. Yeah, took a fast track there, and then was an assistant coach under another team for a while. And then we ended up joining in 2022. Yeah.
So. Which was wild because I graduated college at like 23 with a bachelor's degree. And when I met her, she was 21. She's like, I'm already in my master's. I was like, how does that even add up? Like, how are you moving so quickly? So
lots of summer courses.
Yeah, lots of summer courses.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, that tells me a little bit about how you guys do take not just action, but just based on my gauge, not just from this conversation, but you guys tend to be the folks that take action early, ahead of the curve. Is that?
Very much so. I actually had this conversation with Audrey. Like for us to where we've gotten here within business, it required investments in mentorship and coaches and experts and people that just know a lot more than us. Because as we all know, like getting into the world of business post a college degree is kind of it's a black hole. You don't really know what you're getting yourself into. How do I structure this? How do I build a team? How do I price my products and all that stuff? So back in like 2019, like right as I basically finished up college, I invested in my first mentor at the time. And like, I had a lot of friends that we were connected with in the online space. And like, I was always the first to go into like, whatever, I'm just going to invest in this person, see what happens. And then friends would see me getting results and then they would jump into these masterminds after me. And then it kind of just seemed to be a theme. I'd be like always so curious to know what's out there. And I always had a very open mind to be very, in the mind space to be like, I'm just going to bet on myself here, go all in and just see what happens.
Yeah. So. I think the two things that have gotten us here at a pretty early age, I'm 27, you're 30.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it was moving with urgency and taking big risks. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that early mover advantage.
Yes.
And sounds like you guys make decisions pretty quickly too.
Oh yeah. Very decisive, I feel like. Yeah.
Now, one of the biggest things that I've noticed over the years is that people who do decide quickly and take action early, they have an ability to recognize patterns very unconsciously and also consciously. And those patterns, they're not 100% always going to work, but those patterns do tend to lead to more, I would say, bigger results, more impressive, more exciting results. So now all of this context is important because for the audience, they don't know you guys at all, right? But also one more thing is that if we understand context, the bigger we can, the better views we have of the map that they currently operate from, we can then look at what they want and craft the route from destination A to destination B, and potentially even altering and optimizing the map. So if I may, I'm going to explain a little bit of what we're going to do and the process. And it's very simple, very easy. Typically when people join us, we have them design what they want. Then we have them, and you've gone through the upgrade your life in a week, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Both of you?
It's great.
So we have people design, but notice we spend like 5 days of that entire week talking about design. Then on day 6, we have people resolve things. And then day 7, we integrate. Now, the full process is not that. That's not the full process. The full process is design, resolve, and then we ruminate. We get deeper into why we haven't achieved what we designed. And oftentimes entrepreneurs like you guys will set goals that are, of course, somewhere bigger, better in the future, right? That you haven't arrived yet. But the question is still important to ask is like, why am I not there? But then we can actually build something called a decision tree, which I'll explain. It's like in computer science. There's a decision tree of how our decisions are made. And then once we run through that, we will literally see your existing map of why you have or have not achieved certain things. And then we can actually modify. It's an iterative process. We can go back and forth, right? And then we know, oh, this is why we haven't gotten the results we designed. And we can actually shorten a lot of that time. And then finally, kind of like how you shorten the process of getting a master, right? By working intelligently. I mean, I'm noticing that people that have been able to get their degrees sooner, they're, like you said, summer courses or finding ways to do things that are not something other people are willing to do, right? And where you guys are at with your business, 25 members of a team that's doing well, there's something you've done that have gotten you here. What I'm interested in knowing today and helping you install it is what's your next level and how do we get you there faster, right? And big picture, to continue, after we do this rumination and decision tree, and I'll take you through some of it, then what we do is a full decision installation. So your mind no longer is pulling you one way, and then part of your mind's pulling you another way, which oftentimes causes internal conflicts, and it shows up if there's conflict in the business or anywhere. And to even go bigger picture than this, everything we're doing today is getting to know just a little bit of context. And I'm looking for very specific context and then what you want. And then by knowing what you want, everything that you don't want in your mind will become obvious.
Okay.
And then we can help you resolve them. And then once that's resolved, we can install. It's like removing old programs, installing new programs.
Yeah.
Right? We make room for the things that work. Now, here's something, a side note that's important. Just like in computers, if you install a software that may conflict with an existing software, you're going to run into problems. Humans are very similar. If, let's say, we install a wealth program that has to do with your behavior that helps you work in a way that's even more efficient, even more effectively. But let's say there's an old program that says being wealthy means you're not a good person. Well, that's going to conflict with that new program. So unless we design it first and then we know what's going to come up and remove it, we just installing it would actually cause you to have more chaos in your life, which a lot of people try to do. Because, whether people believe it or not, affirmation does work if it's repeated long enough at the right times of the day, when the brainwave is in a more meditative state, alpha theta, but it requires a lot of work, a lot of repetition, a lot of conviction.
Yeah.
What we do is installation. It doesn't require that much repetition. What it requires is a alter state.
Mm.
Yeah. So last thing, you guys have done some sort of mental optimization trainings or other things. Can you tell me a little bit of like what you've done so far?
You want to start?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say it was like mental reprogramming or anything to the extent like your world was very new, I would say, for me. Some
Got
of
it.
the concepts were familiar, but mainly new, which is why it uncovered a lot for me. Before I had done kind of a one-on-one mentorship with a woman. It was fantastic, but a lot of it was like early childhood stuff that we would kind of go back into a little bit and uncover. Some of it was manifestation, if you will.
Got it.
But that was my introduction. And we would go deep, but there was still a lot of programs I think I had running in the background that was still preventing me from being able to see what was possible. So I didn't have a whole lot, to be honest, outside of maybe YouTube videos you watch certain people online and but nothing like this.
Got it.
I would say very similar experiences. I would say I had 2 mindset coaches back in the day, but to Audrey's point, we're kind of just talking about like how I felt and how I felt around certain things and kind of not really getting to the root of like maybe what it was that's causing me to feel these ways. Maybe we kind of touched on it, glazed over them. Some Stephen Hawking stuff with power versus force, kind of understanding that a little bit. And some other components kind of came from more of like a spiritual side in terms of other coaches that I've had too. And part of that was just identity work a little bit. So, I will say I wasn't the most consistent, but I remember the longest span, I maybe went a couple months where every morning it was like part of my practice to get up and just write out these sentences. Like I am operating a business that does over like $2 million a year. I am very confident in any room that I walk into, and just kind of examples like that I had been pretty consistent with from like an identity level. But past that, that has been the extent
Got
of
it.
mostly everything. Yeah. Prior to seeing your stuff.
And how has those things worked out for you guys?
I think it helped to a degree, and I think more so the light that it shed was the awareness of what it can do for you if you're consistent long enough for a good enough amount of time. So I noticed that, and I did start to notice some positive things coming from it, but it was just something that I'd never really fully kept up with. And I could see maybe if I kept up with it for the course of like a year, 2 years, like how deep that could get enrooted. But it was only like I would kind of maybe take the goggles off a little bit and start to kind of see what could be, but wasn't fully like locked in, if you will, to that lifestyle.
I know what you mean. So I have a question for you guys. If every time you give me $1 and I give you 20 back, when would you stop giving me $1?
No, never.
Yeah,
Right?
That's free money. Yeah.
I think that some of those practices, and we're all, humans, right? If you invest time and energy into something and you get $1 back, but then it costs you time, maybe you get $1.50 back, you're like, I should probably do something else.
Yeah.
So subconsciously you moved on.
That's so true.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reward wasn't quite worth at that time the time and effort.
Yeah.
Yep. And that is where the precision matters, being really precise. Because when it comes to mental performance, a lot of times coaches out there are about intuition. They use their intuition, and I think that people make up stuff a lot based on their life experiences, which is, life experiences are oftentimes a reflection of their mental programs.
Yeah.
So depending on what their mental programs are, they're going to tell you different things.
Very true.
And oftentimes there's not a benchmark of how to measure if a program works or not, right? So in the world of coaching, it does require that you have good luck to have great coaching, right? What we do is not coaching. You'll see that, sure, some people may call some of our team members coaches. They're not really coaches. They are really process-driven individuals that are system architects before the human mind. Because there are rules for practically every scenario. And if that one rule doesn't work, you use the different rule. Everything is driven by a decision tree. So let me take you guys through this process and just illustrate. And we're going to do it in layers in a circular manner. So you don't have to keep track of anything. You don't have to think about anything. Frankly, just answer the questions. They'll come to you pretty naturally. And this is literally what we do with our VIP, as well as some of our people in Upgrade World. So people that have access to our team's mental program architects. So the first question I always want to ask is, what are you most unhappy about in your current life? Now, it doesn't require you to say anything sensitive or too personal. You're welcome to share personal stuff, of course. It's a safe space. What I'm asking, let me give you a little context, is that if there is an area of your life, and you don't have to pinpoint what it is, just an area of your life, which area would you say you're the most unhappy with?
I'd probably start. I would say, not to say I'm not a confident person, but I feel like for how big I am, smart I am, and skills that I have, I often try to make myself smaller.
Got it.
And wanting to be less seen, if that makes sense. So I would say that's probably one of the areas that might make me the most frustrated or unhappy from that point of view.
Is it to be empathetic, to be relatable? What's the purpose?
Like anxiousness is like I feel like the payoff that comes from it. And wanting to like avoid that. Well, I guess I would want to like step away from that ultimately. Step away. I'll be alleviated from that.
So let me make sure I understand. And I'm doing this because I want to investigate
for sure
where these things are so we can take you into the design process. I'm still getting context. Yeah. So you're saying the purpose to be not confident in some scenarios is to do what?
The purpose to be not confident in some senios to not be seen. Because I guess it's like.
And what's the purpose of that?
The purpose to not be seen, maybe to not feel like I'm like gonna make a fool of myself or embarrass myself or not live up to my potential. Be seen negatively or in a embarrassing way by others.
Oh. So you act less confident so that you avoid being seen to not experience that embarrassment or shame. Is that what you're saying?
I would say, yeah.
And what's the purpose of that, if I may?
The purpose of, we're going deep, getting me to think here.
I'll give you some time. And the reason we're doing this is because if you go and investigate a real estate property and you see a crack somewhere, because basically what I just did was I came up to you and I'm like, hey, look, you're the property owner. What's the area of this property that you're the most unhappy with? You're like, oh, there's a crack over there. So I wouldn't just be like, oh, okay, note it, walk away, right? I'd be like, okay, let's investigate where the crack may be because this is the most unhappy area, right, of the property. So then we investigate down to the root cause because it may give us insights onto other things too.
For sure.
So, because I'll tell you my hunch right now, based on how many tens of thousands of hours we've spent doing this, it has something to do with your goals not being as aggressive as I think you can achieve. Do Just a hunch. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll leave it there and we'll let you marinate on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So what about you? Like, what's an area of your life that you may be the most unhappy with?
So I wouldn't say it would be in a bucket of finances, relationships, career, anything like that. I would say similar to Mason, but different. I think experiencing doubt, believing that the goals that I want to achieve, I might lack certain natural traits that maybe other people have. So it feels like there's a lack in traits or...
What traits are they, if I may? And thank you guys for being so open too. I had a feeling you guys would do really well in this. That's why
we hardly openly talk about these things. So I was like getting a little nervous even talking about like the inner workings of my mind there.
Yeah. One that comes top of mind.
Yeah.
If I see someone that is operating a business, let's say doing
10x.
Yeah, 10x. And I see who is operating it and what they talk about, how they move. I think, wow, they're able to articulate their words in a way that I feel like I've never been able to. Or
they've been through our training. That's why.
Yeah. That's exactly
Keep going.
The way they have an operational, like their mindset is just built to operate at that level. And then I think, sure, it's a skill gap, but even if I learn that skill, will I be as good as they are to be able to operate at 10x?
So if I may, I'm going to dig in a little deeper, right? What would be the hidden thing, the thing that's hidden from you that would make that gap disappear?
Success that is 10x, which is unfamiliar to me.
Because here's why I'm asking. You said that even if you got the skills that they have, you suspect that there may be still a gap somewhere, right? But you don't know what the cost would be. I think you do know subconsciously, but your subconscious mind is not letting you know what that is. It's the thing you haven't considered. So if we uncover what that thing is, I think that gap disappears.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is acquire the skills, and then you'll have equal, if not greater, results, I would suspect.
True.
So what would that hidden thing be, if I may? And before we even go there, I'm going to let you process on that in a certain layer. But I'm going to ask you this other question. What's the purpose of hiding that from yourself?
Ooh. Well, if I uncover it, and then it's just a skill, and then I 10x, then it goes back to the original hidden reason, right? And that hidden reason would probably be still because what comes with that much success is so new. It's a new territory. It's unfamiliar. I don't know what that looks like.
Got it.
But I can imagine that my life would look very different, which might mean different friends. What if family views me in a different way because I achieved that much success? I would say that's what it is.
Yes. Very good. So if you navigate all of that, and you have plans and strategies that you feel good about navigating, all of that. And not only do you feel good about the plan, that you feel good about yourself and how you handle it in advance. You'd be okay making 10x, right, happen.
I love it.
Okay. Is there anything left?
I would also associate 10x with more exposure, specifically because of the way that we operate. It's very putting myself out there on social media.
Yeah.
And I've already seen some of what comes with that. So I think if there's 10x of that, which is, Karens on social media.
Got it.
Then I might get more of that. And that's a lot.
I gotcha. So some part of it might be protecting yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Got it. Now, this context is important, so thank you for sharing, because I couldn't help you design what you want if I didn't know these things.
For sure.
Because you would be telling me only to a degree of what you want, which then we would miss the full extent of how much you actually want. If the world was free of judgment, shame, problems of any kind, if the world was just all supportive, how far you would go would be different than the current scenario, right? And I do think that the solutions are going to be pretty obvious as we go, yeah? So let's assume for a moment that the problem of confidence and the benefits, like the problem of confidence disappear, right? And you're just confident full time. And the whole benefit behind whatever it is that you're marinating on, you still get the benefit, but you don't have the lack of confidence. You have all the confidence in the world, but you have the benefit of not having confidence. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah? And then also for you, imagine that you could 10x and you do it more easily than you expect without the danger of exposure. Because currently that's the path you think that you have to experience to get you there. But what if you could have all the benefits of not having the exposure and the Karens and get all the benefits of the results you want?
Feels light.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can design. This is the proper frame to start designing in. It's the frame of if I can have anything I want and Aladdin showed up, it's like infinite wishes, what would you have?
Yeah.
That's how you start the process of design. So typically if someone's just designing, they're going to be limited by their own perception of what's possible. And or their friends and family will say, oh, that's not realistic, and you might cross it off.
Yeah.
But what's realistic is only what we can make real in our mind. That justifies the pros and cons. That's also somewhat hidden in our mind. So through the process, it's mathematical. We can actually remove the negatives, get the benefits that we want, even from the negative things, right? Because there's always a benefit to something negative if it's sustained over time. Otherwise, why would you, right? I mean, if I stop giving you 20 and you keep giving me $1 and I give you 0, you might not give it to me anymore.
Right.
But if you give me $1 and I give you 20 back always, you would just keep doing it. And it's very much a good metaphor of if you design what you want and it does give you what you want, you would keep getting it. Why would you have stopped?
Right.
So any process or goals or strategy that doesn't yield what you want or need just fizzles away.
Right.
Wow, it
Yeah.
makes me think of all the things that I'm doing right now that have a secret payoff.
Yeah.
Secret payoff. That's the perfect way to describe that. The secret payoff is what holds people back big time. And I'm gonna tell you some stories real fast. And the stories are meant to further down the path of establishing context. Because as we design, I'm giving you these stories so that you can navigate around some of the obstacles that other people have faced before. To illustrate that, we can help you navigate that. So we've had individuals over the years that come through and they'll hit a certain income number and they'll stop. And I'm like, I know they can go further, right? What's going on? And then it always has something to do with humans in their lives. Let me be more specific. One person told me, and this is a representation of many people before and after. He said, I feel unrelatable to my parents the moment I cross a certain threshold of income. And I don't know what they'll think of me.
Yeah.
And in no version of their world could they perceive that their parents would be proud. Strangely, right? They feel like they would make their father feel less manly, make their mother feel inadequate, and that it would be unfamiliar to the parents, that new life,
Yeah.
and it would threaten their whole identity. They subconsciously already calculated all this. They may not say those words right away, but then that's why they stop the income. They stop right at a threshold that they feel safe and won't be judged by their parents. And sometimes it's friends. Like, oh, I'm going to need new friends, like you said. And the good news is there's another way, right? You can just send your friends to us.
Yeah.
We'll upgrade them, right? And then problem will be gone. And historically, that is what a lot of people do, funny enough. Like, they're like, oh, my friends needs an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we sort it out for them, right? You don't have to do the work.
You got to write a contract for our friends. You have to do upgrade or friendship's done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a friendship prenup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if we're going to be friends. Yeah. So when it comes to people that have secret payoffs, and we all do, by the way, we all do. We absolutely all do. Like, I remember I met this gentleman, lovely gentleman. This was way back in 2016. And this is at a time when our company has 100% guarantee. Meaning if you don't get the results, we refund 100%.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, we give a certain time frame, but we're like, no, we're not going to keep your money. Like, if you don't get the results, I don't want to work with you. You don't want to work with us. It's all good, right? Or we'll fix it, right? We'll get you to where you are. Now, worked for pretty much everybody. They loved us. They're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Then there was this lovely gentleman. He's actually lovely, but he came to me and he's like, I'm not getting the results I want. I want a refund. And I'm like, sure, let's talk about it, right? Because this is surprising. It seems that other people who are no smarter than this guy is getting results. And he's not in some special circumstances. And even then, there's a way to navigate that. So I was curious. And I noticed it was during my vacation time that he kept calling me. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of annoying, right? How am I creating this, right? So anyway, I finally went and met up with him like a few days later when I got home. And I asked him, what's the purpose of not getting results? The secret payoff. And I was like, I want you to think about it for a second. He's very genuine. That's why I said he's very lovely. He said to me, oh my gosh, I can't believe what my mind just told me. I was like, what's that? He's like, okay, I'm going to be honest. My mind said, so I can get my money back and get the results.
No way.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I don't blame you. That's sometimes a human thing, right? He was in a situation where money's tight. He wants the result. I mean, I get it. He's like, I'm so sorry. I wasn't doing that intentionally. I'm like, I know, right? And then he started getting results.
Wow.
He started getting results, right? The secret payoff is critical. It's not just one. It's usually layers and layers and layers of them. That's why we run decision trees that branches off into deeper layers. So, and by the end of this, I'm going to give you guys a gift, and I'll tell you in confidence what it is after. It's more fun to tell you that way. So now that we have context, right? I do want to ask you, if you could have anything, any event, any occurrence of any kind, there's no limit, not even the sky, what would you want to have happen in your life? No Karens.
No Karens.
Let me see. This could be like business related, life related.
Anything.
You might ask me to go layers deeper, to do what I want, when I want, with who I want.
Oh, okay. Freedom, right? That would be, how would you label that? Freedom? Okay. What about you?
I would say something very similar to that. And also, like, this is like just for like an internal feeling would be to have every day be what Audrey said, but also be completely like worry free on a day to day. So like the anxiousness around, okay, this thing, that thing, this within the business, this thing going on, the way that I like, just like that worry freeness on a day to day basis to just execute, live from that point of view.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Worry free. Worry free. So freedom and worry free. Freedom from what?
For what or from what?
From what?
Restrictions on things in life that are less convenient, more stressful, take up more peace.
Got it. Got it.
So like, I would love to take a private jet with all of my friends instead of having to go through the airport every single time we travel.
Got it. Okay. You were going to say something.
No. I was anticipating a question. I don't know.
Ditto to that?
Yeah. I mean, yes. No, agreed to that.
You know, it's interesting because there's a large population of decently and really successful entrepreneurs that don't fly private. And sometimes you wonder what's the purpose, right? It makes sense, maybe it doesn't make sense, but even for those who have tons of never-ending cash, they still somehow don't fly private. And I asked that question for a long time, but we'll explore that a little later. And by the way, freedom for what now? Because you said freedom from, and then now what would you go towards with that freedom?
Life maxing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah. I just know our time, well, from your course, maybe our time isn't finite, especially with the advancement in AI and health. But assuming our life is finite, I want to get the absolute most out of the human experience here. And if I'm restricted by not being able to do what I want with who I want when I want, then I don't feel like I'm able to fully max out my time here.
I like that. Okay. Got it. Life maxing. Perfect. Yeah. I think that's a common goal in a lot of people's lives in Upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they're in it for an upgrade, right? So let me ask you, what about you?
From like my worry.
Yeah.
freeness.
What's the worry specifically?
Yeah, it's that I think it kind of goes back into what we were talking about. For me, it's like the worry of, to the marination that I was doing over here, like the worry that I'm not good enough to do these very successful things, even though I know that I am, but I internally will beat myself up over that aspect. And I think that is like the payoff, maybe the secret payoff to myself is like the proving to myself, like, even though I'm not trying to do it, but maybe it's unconsciously that if something doesn't work out or like I don't do XYZ thing, like I feel that feeling of like anxiousness going into it, but they're not good enough if I don't succeed. And that maybe I'm not as capable as I need to be for those set of things I'm trying to accomplish. So then to go back to the worry-free would be to not have that be something that I experience on a day-to-day basis. So I can just go absolutely dominate everything that I need to do that I know I can, but to not have that be something that's a little bit of an anchor at the current moment in time of like letting me be 75% when I know there's maybe 25%. Some days it might be 60 when I'm being held back by a little bit. So that's what I would say in terms of my worry freeness, to not have those feelings and emotions of like not wanting to be seen, I'm not as capable, be something that holds me back from that.
So part of you worry, not all of you worry.
Right.
And it only happens some of the time, not all the time.
Yeah, some days I'm feeling it. Some days it's a little bit heavier than others, but it's an ebb and a flow.
So there are two parts here. A part that's feeling a certain way, and the other part knows you're capable. And the two parts are having a conflict. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So how will you know? How will you know that you're worry-free when that moment arrives?
It's a good question. I would say it'll be a feeling, is what I'm thinking. It'll be a feeling of lightness.
Okay.
Daily when I wake up, as I'm going through difficult things with our team, building things out on my own, just a lightness and a pursuance towards what it is I'm doing without maybe the anchor that I feel that is latched onto me from time to time.
So two things about feelings. One, feeling is a gauge.
Yeah.
So it's like an indicator, like when you turn on your computer, there's a volume. Like you can adjust it and volume goes up. But where it's at when you click on it, it shows you where the volume is, right? So feeling works like that. Currently, it's indicating that there's a certain level of worry. But you can actually dial that down, and you'll notice there's a physical effect on it. So what would happen if you were to let go of that worry and find yourself having no worries? What would change?
I guess it would feel limitless from that aspect. Like I can show up in any room, do anything, whether it's in front of people that maybe I might perceive 5 levels ahead of us, whether it's in business and life and maybe even status, and just being able to confidently show up as myself and know that that is good enough for me. That's what I would say it would probably feel like on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. This is helpful. The reason we want to know these things, these are mini blocks that may not be mini. It's because by knowing what you want, I have an idea of what you don't want also. I also have an idea of all of the boundaries around what you want that's holding you back from getting it. And so basically what we've been doing is establishing context, asking you for what you want, the design process, but then also taking you through a little bit of resolution. So not all the way yet. We're just prepping for it. And the better I know what you want, the easier the resolution. And I will say this too, your emotions are truly an indicator. It's a feedback mechanism, right? It delivers a message. So the reason you feel worry, there's a message. So when you unpack the message, the notification mark goes away. The icon that keeps bugging you, like, hey, pay attention, it goes away. So the worry can actually disappear. Now, one key thing here that I want to pause and say real fast to illustrate why we're doing this is that reality is actually not real. Now, this may sound woo-woo, but I need to explain this.
I'm right there with you. I'm like, I agree already.
Reality is not real, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's real is our internal reality, and our senses match what we pick up to help us justify our internal reality. So our mental model, our mental architecture literally dictates what we experience, not the other way around. So people think, oh, throughout my life, I've experienced this, this, and this, and this, and this. That's how reality is, based on experience. And I've lived a long time. I know how it is. But what they don't understand is science have actually proven, even back in 98, we pick up 11 million bits of data per second. 10 millions of it is visual, but we only process like 50 to 100 out of that 11. Well, fast forward to 2024, I don't know how they come up with this number, but they said 1 billion bits of data per second is actually the new number, and we only really process like 10. Now, regardless of who's right, who's not, I think we understand the idea is we only take in a sliver of what's really out there. So the question becomes, how do we determine what's being filtered and how that filter is working and what to filter and what not to filter? That actually forms our perception of reality, right? Well, the filters, as many call it, the filter is the reticular activation system doing the filtering, right? And that filter basically justifies your internal world to be real. And it's maintaining its integrity. Because imagine if the news comes out tomorrow and says time and space is not real. This whole time we've been making this up.
The Earth's flat. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, and aliens are among us, and they say like, oh, you can time travel like this. The portals are already here. Imagine if they came out and said that. There's a good chunk of the population that will absolutely flip out and or ignore the news and pretend that it's not there. Because their mental model does not allow for that flexibility, right?
Right.
Over the years, we've noticed people with the most flexibility in their mental models are the ones that take the most risks, make the decisions the fastest, and they tend to have the most success.
Would that be open-mindedness or something different with flexibility?
Yes and no. Open-mindedness specifically and strategically to things that will actually get them to their goals. Because I am not an open-minded individual when it comes to certain things. Like I am absolutely not open-minded, right?
Yeah.
And I know it really well. Like there are certain things I'm not open-minded to.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things that I know that pertains to optimization I'm extremely open-minded to. So being like, it's like setting up a firewall on your computer. Like what should you allow full traffic through?
Yeah.
What should you completely limit or limit part of the way?
Right.
Most people don't come with a perfect set of filters. There's no such thing. What we do at Upgrade in terms of mental architecture or system architecture is really looking at what are the best filters? What are the best internal components and structures that allows individuals to be able to have the most free and worry-free reality that they have, right? And it pertains to the individual, depending on what you want. Well, in this scenario, your filters justify the worry over the years and the not having the freedom. So if we change the internal reality, the filter will shift towards freedom and actually getting rid of worry. That's the sustainable solution,
Yeah.
right? And the feeling is just there to tell you, is your internal world matching your goals? Is your filter filtering things that matches your internal world, which matches your goals? If it's a mismatch, there will be a conflict.
That's where negative emotions come in.
Bingo. It's a notification. It's like, hey, look, your internal system not aligned with your goals. We have to change the internal system, therefore the filters will naturally change.
Got it.
And then your world will match. So that's where we're heading. What is the evidence of you having no worries and you having total freedom? Like, what's the last thing that has to happen that you're like, okay, this is a slice of reality that I am experiencing that indicates to me 100% no more worries and complete freedom? What does that look like?
I will have a desire for something, and there will be zero question as to whether I can have that thing.
Is it a thing, an experience, or something else, or anything?
All of the above.
All of the above. Nice. Okay.
Mine would be I can go into, let's say, any given day, whether I'm anticipating going to meet somebody, very important. Whether we come in for a podcast, we're meeting somebody who is, let's say we sit down with Tony Robbins and we can have a conversation with Tony Robbins, and I have no inkling of anxiety, worry, and I just come in, show up, crank the podcast, crush it, hang out with Tony afterwards. And there was never anything that snuck into my brain that made me feel those emotions or the negative emotions that come with it.
Got it. And what would they be, the negative emotions? When you're hanging out with someone that's you feel like is higher level, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So it'd be like anxiousness, not good enough, just like might be seen as like less than.
I'll solve that for you right now.
Yeah.
So, question about that. There's a purpose behind you feeling that way. Is it to learn? Is it to pay attention with high alert? What's the purpose? Because the moment you arrive at the purpose and you become aware of it, the feeling disappears. Because the feeling's there to help you become conscious of what you need to be conscious of. And you haven't let it become conscious yet. So the moment you become conscious, it disappears.
Would the purpose of it
To feel less than.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of that?
To not be seen.
And what's the purpose of that?
To not be seen, to not have to put myself out there for judgment.
And what's the purpose of that? Funny enough, Tony Robbins did something like this for Alex Hormozy on a podcast.
We saw that.
Yeah, we did.
And it's a linguistic integration, which is what we're doing.
Yeah. So to not put myself out there, to not be seen, to not be, where are we at in that stair stepper? Right
Judged.
There? To not be judged. And then if I'm not judged, then I don't have to feel that emotion.
And you feel safe.
Feel safe, yeah.
So if you were to feel safe, you'd be good.
Exactly. To feel safe being seen and or to feel safe doing anything that might be looked at or judged by potentially others.
So here's how you unlock that.
Yeah.
What can you learn from all of that so that you can feel safe being seen? If you were to know, what's the one learning that'll unlock that?
To not worry about what others think.
There's something deeper.
There is. To not worry about what others think.
Because you already knew that.
Yeah, for sure. To just believe in myself.
Oh. And how will you do that? What can you learn to fully believe in yourself?
I would say yes.
Like, what can you learn?
Or what can I learn?
To allow yourself to go fully on yourself and fully in and fully believe.
To build more maybe confidence in myself and conviction. But to do that,
let me pause you real fast.
Yeah.
How confident are you that you're not confident in those situations?
I would say through the years of feeling that way, probably pretty confident. Yeah.
Okay. So confidence is not a skill you lack. It's direction of your mind.
Oh, that's so good.
100%.
So you're focusing on how they would treat you, make fun of you perhaps, or different things that a certain look on their face, right? Your mind's conjuring up that image.
Yeah.
And your mind's telling you to stop. So that's the conflict.
Yeah.
So the practice requires you to learn from it, but also focus on how you want. Imagine every time you meet someone that you feel less than, the feeling is just an indicator. So that will disappear. You picture them treating you with not only respect, but compliments, genuine ones. You know when people's BSing you.
For sure.
Right? Yeah. And these are not BS compliments. They're like, oh, wow. Mason, I've yet to meet someone like you, right? And they say things that makes you feel not only amazing, but you're like, wow, I didn't know how awesome I am.
For sure.
Even though I thought I was awesome, but I'm even feeling better about myself. Imagine if that were the encounter and you focus in on that image, it will immediately change the feeling.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, because it makes sense. It's like, as soon as you said that, it's like all these scenarios, whether it's leading up to or had happened, or, between now and the last like 12 years, maybe I've been noticing some of these things that I've gotten more and more over time, or 10 years even so. It's just like the anticipation of what could go wrong in those settings or environments or about these experiences that my focus would always go on versus, all the things that could go right or all the positive benefits that can come from it. So it's like when I say that worry-freeness, I'd worry about the potential negative outcomes that could happen.
That's it. So this goes back to the secret payout of the worry that I asked you about earlier.
Yeah.
Because when you know what the secret payout is, you'll know why you focus on the worst case scenarios. And you'll know why you get the feeling of worry or less than.
Yep.
And now let me do something for you real fast. If you could close your eyes real fast and just imagine you did invite Tony and he did say yes and you met him at your podcast. And I want you to fast forward to 15 minutes after the successful completion of you doing the podcast and Tony's over the moon happy. And he's just cheering and giving you a giant hug. And the man is huge, right? And he's giving you a huge hug. And he's like, Mason, I haven't felt like this. I haven't met anyone that is able to make me feel like this on a podcast. And many of the greats have interviewed me. But you've done something different. And he's just cheering you on genuinely. And you're looking in his eyes, and he just has this look of, oh my gosh, I feel like I have found this young, incredible guy who's going to make amazing things happen in life. And I'm admiring him, and I wish I have how his life is going to pan out, right? Even he admires you. That look, you know that look. So when that's done, notice all around you, everything becomes more vivid, brighter. And you can see clearly down to the very little details, even the thread that is used on the shirt that you're wearing in that interview. Even the cologne, you can smell it. Yep. You can feel the air in the room and your heart beating just relaxed, very, very calm, very, very nice heart rate. And you can feel how in your body, how present you are at that moment. And you're fully in on yourself. And then you realize it's not even about confidence this whole time. It's about focus. Because you've got the confidence. It's just where you focus on. And when it's fully installed, open your eyes and come back into the room. Yeah. You smell popcorn?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know.
Okay, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, so when you think about meeting someone that may seem potentially intimidating or larger than life and had huge success in their career, how do you envision the encounter goes? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to mind is like, hopefully I don't feel this negative pattern come up when I do meet this person. Or hopefully I can articulate my words and not look like
You're labeling it. What's the
Yeah.
picture that comes up?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, like
Yeah.
I don't know, I might meet this person and get like hot and sweaty in front of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you like to respond?
Show up with confidence and conviction. I can just walk up to him, say hello,
Yeah.
shoot the shit, crack a joke,
Have your humor come out?
have my humor come out.
Yes.
I might have all of me be there and not just half of me.
Yeah, so it's a focus thing.
Right.
You may
Yeah.
need to rehearse this because the key is you've rehearsed the worry your whole life.
Yep.
And that worry requires a new rehearsal. And we haven't gotten to the mental program yet. We have just given you a little exercise, but now let's test the exercise and see if it worked.
Okay.
So now I want you to close your eyes again.
Okay.
I want you to go back to 15 minutes after you have successfully done this podcast and Tony has cheered you on and all that stuff, gives you genuine compliments. I want you to turn around from that perspective and look at yourself now. Where's the worry? Is it gone? It's gone. There we go. Now come back to now and open your eyes. Interesting, right?
Very. Yeah.
That was a successful exercise because you've changed your focus. And the moment you look back from the future, the worry disappears.
Right.
So the trick is very simple. From now on, before you meet someone, envision a successful outcome 15 minutes after. Look back from that perspective. Your worry will disappear.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's like even like going into any of those scenarios for me, it's like the negative romance I'll have going into those moments. And then like I'm always able, but I never put my focus over here because after having these interactions or whenever they've happened through the years, it's always been very positive on the backside after I've been able to, kind of brute force my way through the beginning. And then it's like, okay, here I am, I'm finally settled in. But like getting into those experiences, I've never kind of looked on the back more consistently in terms of what is that going to be. It's only been what's happening here and what's a day from now, what's X amount of time from now, not the end of that outcome.
Yeah, most people don't have a confidence issue. It's always a focus issue. Because the confidence or lack thereof, the worry and the presence thereof are an indicator of what you focus on consistently.
Right.
That was so good.
That was very good. Yeah. I've never thought about it like that. Like, because I clearly, like I told you, I know I can do these things or I know I have this ability. But then it's like I feel like it's at the same time I'm fighting with the fact that I don't. But like you said, it's more of just a focus on
It's a focus.
Yeah, it's like if there's a pink elephant in the room, like you're only thinking about the pink elephant more or less, or whatever.
Exactly.
That may be. Yeah.
And you've trained yourself to focus on that so that you can brute force through it.
Yeah.
So the brute force is against your own self, nothing else.
Yeah.
Because part of your mind is what you're brute forcing against. So if all of your mind's like, I'm going to do well, and you focus on that, there will be no more brute forcing.
Yeah.
Things will be natural and easy. So final thing real fast on this before we move on to back to you and then the next stage. So when it comes to feeling that good feeling of confidence, right? I'm curious, what's the consequence of you now naturally focusing on what you want, the wonderful outcome that you want? What's the accumulative or aggregated outcome? Meaning, because over time is going to compound, right? Now, before you answer that, though, I do want to pick up on something because I'm intentionally doing an open-ended question and waiting for you to answer a little bit. So I do want to ask two things real fast before you answer this one, sort of like a function inside of a program, right? I have a lot of fun when people have computer science background, right?
Yeah.
So the first question is, did you ever have to prove yourself growing up?
Yes, I would say to a degree. And my parents are very loving and supportive, but it was like an expectation to perform. And then it was like when there was underperformance, it was like kind of like a what's going on, what's kind of wrong with you. And good praise when I was doing well. But I think there were some things that I even imposed on myself from that degree. Not to get too much into it, I like had a lot of passion, was really good at a lot of sports, some that I kept up with through high school. Baseball was one in particular that I completely like burned out and then like absolutely self-destructed and then stopped playing in high school because I despised it. And a lot of things happened amidst that like kind of, blunted my competitiveness in the sport. I don't know if that answered your question, but I went on a little bit of a tangent there.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
So there were some feelings of you had to prove yourself to your parents?
To a degree, not like a ton, but there was always like an expectation just to do.
There was expectation.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your expectation of yourself?
I guess my expectation would be to like a little bit of some perfectionist. I wouldn't say I have complete perfectionist qualities where it inhibits me to do things that maybe aren't fully perfect, but like to show up in like, kind of going back to the sense of being good enough to show up like in a perfective aura. That makes sense.
Yeah, how do you measure being good enough or not? These are all process questions, like how.
Yeah.
Right?
Being good enough would be to probably just like achieving the goals that I see as like that would fit that bill.
Okay, let's pause right here.
Yeah.
Notice something interesting. It took you 4 seconds to come up with the answer how to measure whether you're good enough, right? And I'm intentional about this. It's not the answer I was looking for. I was looking for how long it takes you to process it because that tells me how unconscious it may be. And so if you're not conscious of the measurement, how could you ever feel good enough?
Yeah, very true.
Right?
Yeah.
It's an unconscious measurement. It's a moving target. So that's an indicator of how you have tricked yourself to not feel good enough for a purpose. So I'd like to come back to the purpose in a moment.
For
But
sure.
I'll let you marinate on that a little bit more
Yeah.
because that will tell us practically one of the biggest things that inhibits you from going from, like you said, 75% to 80, 90, 95% or beyond, right?
Okay.
So, and what we do here is about taking people who have gotten to 80, 90% to the finish line, to 95, 100%, because that whole chunk is not conscious. It's not blunt force. It's unconscious stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing here. So let's come back to you. When it comes to freedom, did you ever feel restricted in life? I know that's a loaded question. It's like, who hasn't?
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of specific scenarios, but absolutely.
Would you say that freedom has always been a thing you wanted, or
Yes.
Since when?
Since I experienced any bit of lack of freedom.
Like what age, if I may ask?
Probably
What's
10,
the earliest
11.
time? Is that the earliest time? Yes or no?
No. 6, maybe.
Is that the earliest time? Yes or no? First thing that comes
Yes.
to mind. Okay, there we go. 6 years old, which according to William James, this is the imprint period, right? 0 to 7 or 8. So we're like constantly, consistently in alpha, theta brainwave state, which a lot of things can get programmed into our mind. So if you observe something around you or inside you that causes you to feel restricted, that would get imprinted. Now, this is not some psychological advice. This is us looking at the system architecture of when a program was installed and why it was installed. And if we knew the origin, we can go back to moments before that program was installed and get rid of the program. And as I said, 10, 15 minutes ago, it's your internal world that dictates what your external world is based on filtering and unconscious behaviors. So if we can get rid of the desire for freedom, which sounds ironic and strange, why would we do that? Because you would naturally, you don't wake up and desire to breathe, you just breathe. So if you have freedom, you won't desire freedom, right?
Yeah.
If that's your natural state, you're free, then you won't care for freedom. So usually when we hear freedom, we hear restrictions. And when we hear restrictions, we hear there's a program somewhere that wasn't your fault, right? It was somewhere in time that got installed. And is it okay if I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So around 6 years old, I don't need to know the content of what happened or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, was there something that was going on that caused you to feel restricted at that time?
It was prior, but I would say at that age, I could really start to experience impact of divorce in the house.
So the divorce happened right before.
I was 2.
You were
but
2.
I don't really recall much from 2 to 6 where I felt restricted.
Still imprinted. Got it. Got it. And if I may, what sort of restriction were you feeling?
I would say even at that young age, a lack of stability, like restricted. I don't know what the opposite of
Got it.
stability would be, but
I got you. It's a safety, stability.
yes.
And if you had the money for private jets, you would presume that you have the stability financially.
Yeah.
And in other areas, right?
Right.
Got it. So you want to exceed the post, exceed the measurement of what would give you stability. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So here's why I'm asking this. The reason I want to know if it was away from something, like freedom from something, right, earlier,
Yeah.
is because, in terms of our mental programs, if we have something to go away from, if we go far enough away, we lose motivation. We lose the drive and desire. And then sometimes people create things and events just to create that drive again. That's not what we want. We don't want that because it causes roller coasters in business and in relationships, right? And so ideally, you want to get rid of the negative impacts of the divorce when it comes to mental programs, because this is just one of them. And if we get rid of it, what happens is in relationship and in business, perhaps, you will notice this becomes more like this rather than this, right? And the way to do that is to set a toward rather than an away from. So you're being pulled rather than being pushed away, right? Because you can keep setting milestones, bigger goals, rather than this is just one baseline. If you go far enough away, then that could happen. But
Yeah.
if you have that toward, you can keep going, right? That makes sense.
Yep. Totally.
So to create real freedom for you, we need toward. We have goals that are going to keep driving you forward and toward something wonderful. And of course, you want to holistically approach this as, how do I have it all, not just one area or another, right? So my curious question is, how will you know you've gotten real freedom other than being in a private jet with your friends?
I think it goes back to what I said earlier. When I have that thought of a desire, there's zero restriction around it.
Okay. See, the word restriction comes back, which means you feel restricted, right?
Correct.
So if we got rid of restriction, what would happen? What's the evidence if you're like, okay, I feel totally free, not on top of it, no restrictions? How would you describe that? And or what do you see?
I mean, the world is my oyster at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do what I want, when I want, with who I want at that
I
point.
noticed you lit up when you said my world is my oyster. Like
Yeah.
you saw the glow.
Oh, I
It was
saw
like an
it.
instant shift, right? So if you were to stay in that state, what we've noticed is that our states are the best predictor of behaviors, conscious and subconscious, and therefore outcome. So what happens if you stay in that state for the next 10 years consistently? Just imagine with me for a moment. What would that be? And you're doing a great job imagining. I can tell you're processing the visuals.
Yeah. I envision it just a very I'm just experiencing a lot in life. Traveling all the time with my friends, worry-free, have a healthy family. I envision things, I guess, or how my life would look.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the moment in time that we can capture together? Like a 3 to 5 second clip.
We're taking our family to Switzerland for Christmas,
Oh,
and we're going to stay in a ski in, ski out chateau.
nice.
It's all paid for
Okay.
everyone.
Maybe a butler, chef.
Private chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what will you see in that moment? Because you gave me more than 3 seconds. 3 to 5 seconds.
Okay.
That's
I
a
wanna
weekend right
get
there.
really
I
dialed
see-
in.
I see we're all on the jet, and I look out the window, and there's the terrain of mountains of
The
Switzerland,
Swiss Alps. Yeah.
Swiss Alps. Yeah.
And can you tell me if it's leather seats, fabric,
It's leather.
leather?
It's a caramel color.
Okay. Is there a scent inside the jet?
It smells like a new car.
Okay. So maybe newly remodeled or a new jet?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And how many staff do you have?
3.
3 on the jet. Ooh. I
It's a heavy jet.
Thinking big.
Yeah, okay. And then what's being served? Or are they serving? Are they
Champagne.
strapped in? Okay. Perfect. And what's the table made out of that your champagnes can be put on?
Wood.
What kind?
I don't know if I know types of wood, but I know that
Mahogany.
What does it look like?
it's a dark wood, and it is covered in like a whatever that is to
Veneer?
make it, like a nice.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And if I may, and I'm being really specific, what's the table sitting on? Like, is there a automatic, does it come up automatically? Is it something like a fold out? Like, what's the picture that you see?
I just picture a round table with one leg and
Got it. Perfect. Perfect. And what's the sound level? Like, is there, you're in a jet, right? There's going to be jet noise. What's the sound level? I'm not expecting your ears to be this meter that can give me accuracy.
Decimals.
I'm just asking, like, how loud is it? Or quiet? That's really
it's
good.
semi-quiet.
Okay. Conversational, very easy.
Yeah, I can
right?
hear somebody way on the other side of the jet because it's really big.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. This is the kind of detail we want, right?
Yeah.
How big's the window?
Like, yay big.
Got it. What time of day is it?
12:03.
I like it. Okay. So that when you design, we want to zoom in. Typically when people design, and notice I'm doing the iterative process, right? We design, resolve, integrate some stuff. We come back and do more design. It's layers, not all in one go.
Right.
At least in this version, right? When we get to work on this together personally. When you design, I know that the design is not specific if you tell me the whole weekend in a few sentences, because the visual is just a flashing image. It's just a glimpse. It's not the full detail image in 8K.
We're missing the pixels.
Yes. We want that really incredible detail, the right amount of brightness. You know all of the things are there. And the things are an indicator of physical creation in a sense, right? What's the first thing that you're going to do when you get off the jet? In your mind, as you're sitting there drinking, sipping on your champagne, you're envisioning. Now we're getting into her mind at that moment, right? You're sitting there sipping your champagne, getting excited. Captain's like, we're going to land soon, because you see the mountainous landscape of Switzerland in December, right? Or January, whenever that is. You said December? Yeah, perfect. What's going on in your mind at that moment? What's the first thing you're going to do when you get off the plane? Because I'm sure you think
We're
of
going to
that.
get picked up by a driver.
Okay.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
That driver will take us to the chateau, and we're going to be greeted with what the chef has prepared for us.
Perfect. Perfect. So that's what you're envisioning in your mind at that moment, knowing it's like as certain as an Amazon delivery. You just know it's going to happen. So you're thinking, oh, I'm ready to get picked up. I'm hungry, right? And he agrees.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I would even go in and play with those 3 to 5 seconds and get all of the details. Really, like almost forensic level detail, right? So that you can replay that in your mind. Now, a trick that you need to know, it's not even a trick, it's actually a mechanical, I would say, makes the difference of it being actualized versus not. So it's a mechanical difference in visualization. I would say a possession of perception that's really important. I'll just say what it is. So if you envision this through your own eyes, like you're in the body experiencing it, that's step one. That's really important because you need to feel and get all the senses. So you get it from first person perspective. Then you want to step out of your body and see yourself experiencing it. Here's why. If you're not in the third person when you end, your mind, and I don't know why this is, but this is what has been found in all of the decades, even before I myself got into understanding the mind. Many decades before, people were discovering if you stay inside the visualization, first person, your mind will think it's done. No more action needed.
Interesting.
Which is why visualization is a hit or miss for a lot of people. One of the reasons. And the other reason is they're not in a deep enough, calibrated, altered state. And the other reason is their design's not detailed enough, right? And there are other things like mental blockages and others. So in this scenario, I want you to absolutely visualize it in your body, then outside of your body. When you do that, and it doesn't have to be long, do it for like 10 days, 30 days. It's a fun visual to do, right?
Yeah.
And then you step out. You step into your body at first, make it bright, very concrete, very detailed, super real, get all the pixels, right? And then you step out, imagining yourself experiencing it, this joy and smile on your face, and then open your eyes. That sequence will tell your mind, I want this, but it's not done yet. It's very simple. The metaphor is, if I got you, do you guys like steak?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Let's say we have a Michelin 3-star chef flew in just to make you the world's best steak ever. And you took 2 bites and you're like loving it. right? And I come in and grab you a plate, and I'm like, hold up, we're gonna finish the podcast first. You'd be like, come on, like give it back, right?
Yeah.
That's the feeling we want your mind to have. You step into your body, you get the experience, but hold up, you can't have it yet.
You really want it.
Yeah.
You really want it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you set up meanings, rewards, you design those. And then you go through a full process of doing decision trees, which, by the way, back in the day, when we first started teaching decision trees, it was only available in our $60,000 training. And so now what we're starting to do is, you'll see it, like if you guys, I haven't checked like what you guys are in our program, but we have an event in May. We're going to run decision trees for everyone.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be really fun to see why 2, 3, 4 layers later, someone has a secret payoff, right? But here's why I'm bringing this up. The secret payoff is what would prevent your visualization to be focused on what you want. So we uncover the secret payoff and we get the visualization. Your mind will naturally start taking you down that direction. But of course, you want to resolve the secret payoff, right? So the process is very simple. It's only 4 steps, but it's all of the other little things that you learn to do whenever something comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 4 steps.
I'm going to explain it now.
Okay.
So designing, right? But I got a bit of context before we step into design, which is usually a good move. Then after design, you want to look at what's the payoff for not getting the goals I want. So you can go in and do resolution, which that's like a whole half day exercise.
Yeah.
But once you get really good at it, man, and we do have a simplified version in the 1 week program, right? So check it out, right? But I did some of that with you. Part of the resolution is knowing what the secret payoff is. And then negotiating with the mind, what can you learn from it? The learning is key to resolution. But there are some faster processes. Then once you're done with the resolution, you basically look at, well, are there anything else? Is it away from something that's painful or towards something pleasurable? Which is why I said freedom from what?
Yeah.
Right? Worry is clearly away from something, right? So when we examine any goal, anytime we set a goal, we want to look at, is there something that I'm going away from? And is there something I'm going toward? What's the ratio? Because it does matter. If it's 80% away from something and 20% towards the private jet and 80% away from the pain of a parent's divorce, then you'll go far enough, but not far enough to get the jet.
Right. Because you're stuck in the pain.
Yeah.
Well, because you're out of the pain, but you're not, the 20% is not strong enough to pull you to the private jet. What you want is maybe 20% out of the pain and then eventually 0%, but 80% to 100%, the motivation to have that good time with friends and family, to go to Switzerland whenever you want, right? To be in the chateau, having that private chef. That whole experience begins to build on and increase the ratio of the toward. So that's part of the resolution too, by design. You're literally designing it, but as you add the pixels to it, you increase the percentage of toward and decrease the away from. So we're doing this process in real time by asking, hey, what do you see? And the more you see, the bigger this number goes. And the moment it tips the scale, you stop having those secret payouts. So it's a multi-angle approach. It's a fast process. So the resolution process, I'll show you one of them. We have like 6 of them.
Okay.
But this one is really quite fast and really easy to use. So for example, when you thought about the secret payout, and you've been thinking about it, right? Like, what's the secret payout? Have you gotten answers?
So I remember there was this one instance, kind of going back to that story. There was this one instance where I was very competitive baseball player, like really good. There was a play that happened in this game that like I didn't do well. And like I was like kind of giving like half effort towards running to the base. And if I gave full effort, I would have actually like gotten there. And then like that whole thing transpired and I got like yelled at and belittled by my coach in front of like the entire team. And then the next game after that, I got put like way at the end of the lineup. And I remember that being like a very pivotal moment that like cascaded my like skills. And then like I wasn't playing as good. I couldn't hit as good. I couldn't field as good. I was like missing routine plays. And like that kind of just happened at that moment in time. So like when I think about it, it's like I was giving like this half effort. It was noticed. And then I was ridiculed for it. So it's like I kind of translated that into the aspect of if I'm putting effort towards things and then like it doesn't yield the most ideal outcome, that like I'll get judged or ridiculed for it.
So protection from judgment and ridicule.
Yeah. Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if you were safe from that completely, and that secret payout is gone, you would go all in on yourself.
I wouldn't give a shit. Yeah. I wouldn't care.
You guys ready for the fun part?
Yeah.
So if you were to know, close your eyes real fast. If you were to know, there's a place in your body that program's stored. Now, I don't mean that it has to be literally there, but it's represented there. So the moment you begin to interact with it, which you will in a moment, you will actually have an actual and real impact on that mental program. Now, if you were to know, don't think about it. Just use your right hand and point at where the program is. You can feel it in your body. It's right there. What color is it?
I say purple.
Size and shape?
Purple, it's kind of like the size of a pear, but it's kind of like it's like an upside down triangle, but it's 3D, kind of pointy at the top.
Got it. And texture and material?
It's hard and crystally.
Got it. Now, in 3 seconds, keep your eyes closed. In 3 seconds, I want you to notice that in your imagination, you can reach in and interact with it. In fact, you can reach in now and grab onto its core. And the moment you squeeze onto it, you notice that it activates and you can feel that program. You can feel it, right? The feeling intensifies. Good. Now, as you squeeze a little harder, you notice all of the neurology that's no longer serving you, that's connected to it, lights up. Yeah? Okay. In 3 seconds, I'm going to have you yank it all out. So in 3, 2, 1, yank it out. Throw it away. It's gone. Now notice with your eyes closed, something wonderful fills in the space. I would like you to tell me, is it confidence or is it something else? What's filling in?
I would say like a sense of confidence and like just peace.
Oh, a peaceful confidence, calm confidence. You just know that you can achieve what you want. Good. Now, I want that to fill in all the way. And it pulsates and supports you in all of the times that you need confidence. Frankly, you won't need it. It's just there. It's just who you are now. You notice that it integrates not only in your body, but it integrates into your cells and every fiber of your being. And it lights up in a different color. What color is it?
Yellow.
Good. You're glowing. Yeah, I can see that smile. Good. Now, let that lock into place. And now it's part of who you are. It's just literally who you are. A being of great confidence and certainty. And easily able to focus on what you want. And when that's fully integrated, open your eyes. Welcome back. You smell popcorn? Yeah?
I like you asking me that. I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So let's test it real fast. When you think about meeting someone that previously you would have thought that they were way above and beyond in whatever levels they are, now when you think about yourself interacting with them, how do you feel?
As I should. Yeah. As I should. Yeah.
Very nice. So now your conscious idea of what you should feel and your unconscious response match. That becomes alignment.
Yeah.
And then you no longer will be 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake towards your goals. Especially when some of these people, who knows, could bring you massive opportunities, right? So I would keep your eyes open for those opportunities and things that may occur.
For sure.
Now, on to you. You ready for this? So if you were to know, because we talked about how when you were 6 and prior, some events happened, right? Parents divorce, and then you felt the impact of it at 6. Well, if we were to get rid of that restriction, that instability, what will happen, if I may ask, before we do it? I want to know, because I'm not sure if I want to do it yet. I want to know, what's the consequence of you removing that? You can imagine. What's the first thought that comes to mind?
The consequence is nothing feels off limits.
And what do they feel like instead?
Easily accessible.
And that's a good feeling. The world is your oyster. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
So if we were to get rid of that restriction, the world is your oyster would fill in. And how would you, is there a feeling, a state that you would like to label it, or the world is your oyster is good?
It's good.
Okay, it's good.
Abundance.
Abundance.
Is the feeling.
I wonder what that would do to your business. Guess we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could close your eyes and point with your right hand, where's the program of restriction and instability? Is it in the same place? Or are they two different places? Let's deal with one of them first.
Yeah. Okay.
That's which one? Restriction?
Restriction.
Good. We're going to remove that one first. What color is it?
Black.
Ooh, okay. Size and shape?
It's a square.
Got it.
Medium.
Okay. Texture and material?
It's foam.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. So I'm going to have you put on some imaginary special gloves so you can grab onto the foam as well. Good. Now it's all in. Now I want you to reach in and notice that you can actually reach in now with your mind's eyes. You can reach in all the way and you reach all of a sudden the core of this problem. And I want you to squeeze a little bit. You should feel the restriction coming on, that feeling. You feel it? Give me a nod. Good. Now I want you to squeeze even harder so that you notice all of the neurology that's no longer serving you, that's part of it, lights up. And in 3 seconds, I'm going to have you yank it out. In 3, 2, 1, yank it out. Throw it away. Good. Now, keep your eyes closed real fast. Where was the other program?
Like my belly.
What color is it?
Dark blue.
Interesting. Size and shape?
Circle.
Texture and material?
Glass.
Good. Now I want you to reach in. Give it a little squeeze. Do you feel that feeling? What's the feeling?
Uncertainty.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That uncertainty that comes from a lack, a place of scarcity, right? Lack of abundance. Good. Now, are you sure you want us to do this? With your eyes closed, answer me. Are you sure you want to remove this and fill your life with abundance and have amazing things happen in your business, your relationships, and things just go amazingly well?
Yes.
You're absolutely certain.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Now, I want you to give it a little squeeze and notice that everything lights up that's no longer serving you, that's connected to it, right? Every program that's not serving you anymore, that's creating not abundance, I want you to notice it lights up. Yeah, it's lit up. Now, I want you to grab onto the core and in 3 seconds, yank that whole thing and whole chain of them out. In 3, 2, 1, yank it out. Throw it away. Now, open your eyes real fast. Do you smell popcorn?
Yeah, actually.
You do? Okay, good. Very good. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Now, close your eyes real fast. I want you to notice something's filling into the spaces that you opened up. And it's filling in safely. And it's a feeling of not only abundance. What else is there?
Joy.
Anything else?
Lightness. Creativity.
Oh, because you will be creative about how you could have more abundance. You're no longer restricted. So creativity is flowing. Good. So allow yourself to tell me, what color is it that's filling up that space?
Yellow.
Oh, you guys are in sync. Very nice. and it's glowing. I can see that filling in, not only affecting that region, but it's positively affecting your entire being. You can see that too, can you? You can look down with your mind's eyes and see yourself glowing with that yellow golden light. Is that okay? You notice? Good. Now that it's pulsating and it's deeply integrated, when it's done, open your eyes. Welcome back. Still smell popcorn. Very nice. Very nice. Welcome back. So let's test it. You know, when you think about the future and your future being in this wonderful jet, flying with your family to Switzerland and to enjoy the time that you're going to enjoy, how do you feel about that moment? It's pretty easy to envision that, isn't it? And doesn't it feel like Amazon delivery, that it's just going to show up? You know it's going to show up. And they're on time, if not early, oftentimes. Right? Is that okay with you? Okay, good. Good. Now that was fun, right?
Yeah, it was super fun.
And how do you feel?
Like, I guess going back to, I feel abundant, excited.
Uh-huh.
A lightness, a sense of empowerment.
Yeah.
What do you anticipate will happen in terms of just like in the near future, in terms of maybe your behavior, the way you think, anything that comes to mind? I'm curious.
I think for me, the goals will happen, or that envision of what's possible will happen sooner than what I initially kind of think of with that lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right.
And I agree. And it's much more focus on that other avenue for me. That's what I see happening, is much more focus on those positive qualities instead of the negative emotions that I typically would focus on.
That's not your typical you anymore. This is the typical you. Very nice.
Yeah.
So I just want to explain quickly before we finish what we just did, right? So basically we established a visual communication system. It's a representation of the emotion, because typically you can't interact with it physically. But it's like on your computer nowadays. We have icons. We can click on stuff. Back in the day, it was just codes. That's why it was very hard to master the workings of the mind back in the day. You would have to spend decades. Nowadays, we just need to create representations, graphical user interface, right, for the unconscious, which is really what we do. Building these architecturally sound software, right, interfaces that allows you to interact with parts of the mind that people 40, 30 years ago couldn't even imagine existing, right? And you can do it real fast because just the process we did, we remove those things. In the old days would have taken decades or months at least, if not, well, I would say years. But that took a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
To be able to experience that.
I'm glad that you guys readily agree to do this because this is
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
this is fun, right?
Took what we've been consuming through your stuff and put it into specifics, which we've envisioned, but not actually taken through the process to see the impact of that was really cool.
Yeah. Don't get too vulnerable in that way very often. It's like, you don't really take that much time to really think through exactly why I feel the way that I feel. More importantly, which was super unique.
Or the secret payoff.
It's like you're almost like am I kind of having like a therapy session here? Or am I really kind of unweaving those patterns that I've had?
Oh, it's all math. There was no therapy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's the fun of it is like over time, sure, there's an art to it, but every bit of it has a decision tree. Every bit of it is like, if this, then that equals this. So everything I did today was gathering the detail. It's like in the old days of playing a video game, and perhaps still today, you get into a map, you don't see anything, you don't know what the map is. I got in here today not knowing your map. So I needed to know your map.
Right.
So context. Then we design what you want, your destination, right? Then we notice some obstacles. We clear them. We save the biggest one for last. Then we do the installation, the replacement. So we basically illustrated, I mean, not all of the techniques, obviously, but a glimpse of what can be possible when your mind is open in the right way, right?
Yeah.
And you're being willing to be vulnerable. So thank
And that
you.
was just one.
That was just one.
Yeah.
That's one area. Thank you.
Holy moly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
us.
This
Yeah.
was
Pleasure.
great.
I got a little gift for you guys after.
Okay.
So once we turn off the cameras, I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
And then, what was I going to
Is
say?
it a private jet going to Switzerland with a chef?
Yeah.
Perhaps it'll lead to it,
Yeah.
right? I think anything's possible at this point now that you
sure.
have total freedom.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure
Right.
is. Yeah.
Again, thank you guys for being on and being so. This is where things get fun when you're not just willing to play, but you go all in. I could tell you guys were like, maybe in the beginning you weren't so sure how vulnerable you want to get, but you're like, nah, we're going to do this.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, William.
This is a lot of fun that I haven't had except with my VIP clients. So
Yeah.
grateful you guys joined us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Until
Yes.
next time, see you guys.